Breaking news. Power surges and subpar electronics just don't mix, but we are 345 days without a radioactive incident, and I am so proud of all of us. I'm your host. You can call me the Lone Transmitter, and coming to you live from Yellowbrook City, you're listening to Wasteland Free Radio. It's down to the wire, but I finally finished building my project for the Dynamo Science Lab's semi-annual science fair. It took 6 separate hikes into the Radlands, but I finally salvaged all the parts I needed to finish that new signal relay, and I only had to sacrifice my dignity a couple of times. If you've ever tried, you all know exactly how hard it is to find good electronic components right now, especially copper. And it's got to be good copper. None of that crap from the warehouse that Max discovered. What was the name of that place? Oh, right. Yeah. Elux Electronics Company. Their slogan is Elegant Elite Elux. Whatever. If you're looking to salvage something, just look somewhere else. There is absolutely nothing worth taking there. I promise. I'm not trying to cheap any of you guys out. But if you need to see it for yourself, it's about 5 clicks south of the robot graveyard, but trust me, it's actually just garbage. I've seen some of the other projects for the science fair already, and believe me, I am well aware that I am not going to win. But that's not what the science fair is all about. It's about achieving scientific progress together as a community. Our neighbors over in Lithium City have actually offered me a prime piece of real estate on top of one of their smokestacks, and they've got all the stable electricity I could ever ask for. This could be the dawn of a new day for Wasteland Free Radio, because as soon as that's installed, everybody in the valley will be able to listen to my show. Pretty cool. Well, okay, maybe not everyone. Maybe just the ones with radios. It's fine, whatever. Of course, once you get to the mountains, the signal might drop a bit, but that is just how it goes. So after the science fair, I will take one more hike out to Lithium City to install my hang on a second. Where the hell did it go? I swear I set it down over by my retro resequencer, but it's... Hang on, maybe my roommate's seen it. Hey, 95, have you seen my signal relay? I built it the other day. I can't find it. Any ideas?
I am afraid I have no knowledge of the whereabouts of your signal relay. Have you checked with the station beast? She is going into heat this week.
Right, she builds a new nest out of used electronics whenever she goes into heat. I forgot about that, but I'm not seeing anything. I don't think that's the case. Oh, yeah, and she doesn't like it when I go into her room either. I forgot about that. Huh. Well, if I don't remember what I did with it, maybe I stored the memory of where I put it in one of my old memory cards. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can find one. I'm still shocked that we found a memory card that can actually interface with our super game bot and my implant. Well, okay, Max is the one who found it. She really can't find anything.
I agree. Max the Millions is a remarkable feat of human engineering. Most impressive, in many ways. I could provide you with a detailed report of the...
No, that's okay. I don't need to hear those details. Thanks, though.
Are you sure? Perhaps hearing of my exploits will increase your odds of a satisfactory experience. I remember your last few dates resulted in less than optimal conditions for...
I don't want to talk about it right now, okay? Read the room, 95. Jeez. Okay, I'll have to dig through some of these files a little bit. I see Super Smack Sister's high scores and an encrypted folder called Compromised Files Do Not Open.
Oh, that's nothing. You may disregard that folder. There is nothing in there that concerns you.
Why is this on our shared drive, 95? You're literally a robot. You have plenty of storage for this stuff. What did you do? Start an OnlyScans account? Whatever. Don't answer that question. I'm just gonna skip right past this. I'm not seeing anything useful though. Man, I've got to get a better memory storage system. I don't want to hike back out to my backup unit already. It's not that I mind cutting my way through the brush of an irradiated forest or crossing the lava fields, but I was just there the other day, and I ran into one of my exes, and if you've been listening to the show for a while, you've probably heard a couple of things about my track record, and yeah, that one tried to eat me too. What are you gonna do? I clearly have a type. All right, it's not here. Man, this is incredibly frustrating. I'm sure it'll turn up. It's not like my relay could just get up and walk away and gain sentience and self-awareness. Oh, okay, well, that doesn't sound that far-fetched. It has happened before, but not to me, not to me. I'm not about to accidentally cause another AI singularity. Besides, the last one was kind of underwhelming, to say the least. I mean, have you met local authorities? They're artificial, but they aren't exactly brimming with intelligence. Well, alright, I guess I lost my science project. I could always build another, but not in time for the science fair. It's not like I was going to win anyway. I mean, I just built a radio after all. Weatherbot 95's magnetic field generator might have a chance at winning, though. Pretty cool. Speaking of our semi-intelligent but definitely artificial overlords, they have announced a plan to build a new water tower, complete with its own treatment system built by Dynamo Science Labs. I guess the recent water shortage in nearby New Spring City, or as I like to call it, Heck on Earth, has spurred some quick action by Yellowbrook residents. Now, our water supply is already pretty good on its own. We get all that mountain runoff, and by the time it gets through the Taconic Forest and Iron Falls, it's sort of discolored and has a very distinct yellow glow, hence the name of our beautiful city, Yellowbrook City. Of course, once our water goes through the filtration system at Dynamo Science Labs, it's just the way it should be, potable and purple. So Max is already hard at work cooking up new ways to get our water to New Spring City and trying to make a meager profit at the same time. It's not like she's ripping anybody off. She's not a monster, but she's been trying to expand her salvage and supply business anyway. This could be a good chance. And who knows, maybe we could really turn things around. With that extra revenue, we could actually be a thriving city with more than a couple dozen people. This could mean big things for Yellowbrook, and I love this place. And you know what? You live here long enough, and you don't even notice the glowing water anymore. And just a disclaimer, I don't really hate New Spring City, by the way. I just think their nukeball team sucks, and their bogus clear water does too. Seriously, it tastes terrible. It's sort of like when you accidentally get detergent in your mouth during decontamination, but with notes of expired canned goods, and I just don't drink clear water. Or the yellow water, by the way. Alright, let's check some messages here. I've got a voice message from Max the Millions herself. Let's see what she's got to say. Let me see if I can fix that.
Hey, man. That last power surge from Dynamo Science Labs sort of fucked up my refrigeration systems, and now I've got a coolant leak. And if there's one thing I've learned about hanging out with cyborgs and robots all day, it's that a coolant leak is never a good thing. My guys are on it, don't worry. But I just wasn't fast enough. And these repair bots are about to get themselves replaced if they don't step it up. Ugh. I don't know what I'm saying. I could never actually replace them. They got families. I'm not a monster. I'm out of ideas. It doesn't matter what kind of coolant you find me, I'll make it work. Weatherbot 95 gave me whatever he could spare, but it's just not enough to keep my hydroponic space operational. No hydroponics means no coffee berries, means no coffee, or, you know, the other stuff. I even tried those dehydrated do-gooders in New Spring City. And I got nothing. DJ Mathematicus says hi, by the way. Well, okay, he didn't say hi, but he said he's gonna, clean your mother's tape heads. Or whatever. I don't know what to make of that. I don't like that guy. Should have heard the things he had to say about Weatherbot 95.
Is that Max? Tell her she sucks at Super Smack Sisters.
No, 95, I'm not gonna do that. And it's just a recording, man. Calm down. Save it for date night.
This sucks, man. My reputation is at stake here. I'm supposed to be able to get you anything and everything for a price, but the price doesn't even fucking matter right now. I just can't find it. Rough Roxanne knows I'm looking for some and is looking to trade, but she's out saving orphans from the war in the West, and I haven't seen her in weeks. You've got connections in the East, right? What about Iron Falls? If they're still around, they've got to have something. I just need like 2,000 or 3,000 liters to get me by. Oh, and tell Weatherbot 95 I beat his record again. He'll have to do better than that.
Well, like I said at the top of the show, those power surges are really becoming a problem. If her hydroponic system is in danger, that means we're in danger. I suppose I could take a trip out to Iron Falls. I haven't been there in a minute, and I don't even know if that city exists anymore. Civilizations tend to come and go in the Radlands, and I haven't heard anything from them. And they're out of range. They can't hear this. Of course, if I hadn't lost my signal relay, they'd be able to hear this as soon as I installed it, but what am I gonna do? I am meeting up with the courier later. Maybe they'll have an idea.
My project is almost done. I just need one more part. It's at Max's. I'll be back. I'm going to drop off some more of my coolant in the meantime.
This seems like a pretty obvious statement, 95, but you know you need to keep some of that coolant, right? I'm assuming we're talking about coolant. We're not talking about coolant. God damn it.
She's only borrowing it. I'll get it back.
Ew. Okay, whatever.
And you are not my motherboard. Get off my superstructure, puny human. Not even you can stand in the way of true love. I am going to play Super Smack Sisters until the break of dawn. And I will return when I return.
All right, 95. Have fun, man. Tell Max I'll see what I can do. You know, I don't know what I'm worried about. Max is going to take great care of him. She always has. It's fine. I'm really... Oh.
I forgot my memory card. Excuse me.
Well, if you're ever visiting Yellowbrook City, there is a good chance you'll run into the Grand Reverend Supreme, the leader of our very own Doomsday Cult. Of course, he doesn't call it a cult, he calls it the Doomsday Country Club. He's been making inaccurate predictions about the end of the world for a while, and here's the thing, the world already ended. That's pretty obvious to the rest of us. He seems to think that the Space King, whoever that is going to return to the Earth and set the whole thing on fire, and that's going to be the actual end of the world. Unlike the other mass suicide cults out there, he doesn't seem like he's actually dangerous. He's just a little weird, I guess. Then after one of those power surges, I was on the roof fixing my antenna when I heard him parading and shouting through the streets. So I grabbed my field recorder and I joined the parade to ask him a couple of questions. I hope you enjoy my mostly normal conversation with the Grand Reverend Supreme.
Come on to the apocalyptic event of a lifetime. That's right, my children. Join me and prepare for the final days of judgment as the Space King has foretold.
Final days of judgment, okay.
Visit me in my home, in the factory that once made poor facsimiles of the human form, where we will all experience but a taste of the Space King's all-consuming eternal fire. For these inanimate and artificial replicas of humanity shall be set ablaze. So join me, my children, as we feast on the Space King's bounty in preparation for his ultimate destruction of the planet.
Yeah, he's pretty much just been repeating this for the last quarter of a mile. He's even got people walking around handing out pamphlets again. One of them came up to me asking if I had the time to talk to them about the bounty of the Space King. And of course I said yes, because I had to understand the mindset of a minion, and I figured maybe this little zealot would spill the beans on what it is the Grand Reverend Supreme is actually doing. but then he got super nervous as soon as I picked up my recorder, and he ran away. It's just a microphone. I don't know what he's so afraid of, but...
It's you.
Oh.
The lone transmitter. I wanted to talk to you. Please, you must understand. The Space King's bounty, you must partake of it, or be destroyed by his glorious eternal purging fire.
Thank you, sir, but I think I'll pass this time. But can I ask you a few questions?
But of course, my child. Perhaps my answers will hold the truth that you seek.
Okay, well, I don't know about all that. I'm not sure I'm looking for something as esoteric as truth, but we'll see. So, question number 1. You claim to have it on good authority that the Space King will be returning and bringing with him glorious fire?
Glorious, eternal, purging fire, yes.
Yeah, right. All those great things. So, what do you say to the people who claim the Space King can't return? Specifically the folks who claim the Space King never actually existed to begin with.
Ah, you speak of the skeptics and scientists. The ones who also claim the apocalypse to be an event of the past and not the future. There is no denying it. You know deep in your heart, in your soul of souls, in this desperate pit in which you exist, you have an aching need for the bounty of the Space King. His luscious, velvety frozen bounty.
All right, so just so we're clear, you are telling people the only way to avoid being burned up by the Space King's wrath is to partake in his bounty, which is, as you said, delicious and velvety and frozen. Are you just inviting people to another ice cream social? Is that all this is? Because that's what it sounds like to me.
Yes.
Okay, is there anything else you'd like to say to anybody at all?
To everyone, I say, come to my humble abode to witness the glory of the Space King before his triumphant return.
Hey, what the? Hey, let go of my microphone.
2 weeks hence, Sunday evening at 6:66 p.m. The Mannequin Factory, no cover charge. Come one, come all to the apocalyptic event of a lifetime. That's right, my children. Join me and prepare for the final days of judgment as the Space King has foretold.
Okay, so he probably still thinks the Space King is going to come and destroy the planet, but I don't know, it seems less pressing, or like he wasn't prepared to answer any real questions. He just has like the one thing he wants to say, so I don't know, I'm not really worried about it. But the more that I think about it, he and I may actually have some common ground here. I mean, the world has ended a couple of times already. It doesn't mean it's not going to end again, right? Keep your eyes peeled for another apocalypse, everybody. Well, Radlanders, I know this is an audio format, so you can't see what's going on, but that sound should be relatively familiar to all of us here in the Radlands. And it brings us to tonight's big story. You see, in preparation for the new water tower that's going up, local authorities thought they would start drilling outside of the city for more sources of water. Apparently, they think our yellow water isn't good enough and we have to find something a little more natural looking. That's fine, I understand. I'm never going to turn down more water. We kind of need it to survive. So they started drilling a few clicks outside of the city, and nobody would ever call me an optimist, but I thought that was a pretty safe distance. You couldn't even see the drill site from here. I felt pretty good about that. Dynamo Science Labs loaned a high-powered laser for the operation, and our good friend the generator was kind enough to lend some extra power. Local authorities even sectioned off the area in case any vagrants or traveling merchants wandered too close. Everything looked like it was going according to plan. And then they drilled right into a pocket of pressurized magma. So, Yellowbrook City is now home to a brand new baby volcano. Local authorities have named it Conan, after the king of 1990s late-night comedy Conan O'Brien, and honestly, I can kind of see the resemblance. You know, it's tall, it's red, it's kind of loud, and it's a complete and total disaster. I think Conan would agree. They did attempt to call emergency services, but we haven't had a real fire department in years. Like, not since the Great Dalmatian Uprising. It kind of put everybody in a tough spot. Of course, the Grand Reverend Supreme will claim this is a sign from the Space King getting ready to devour the planet with his all-consuming eternal fire, but whatever. But the good news is that the lava flow is contained outside of the city, so we are pretty much safe. I feel good about this. I wish we had more water, but what are you gonna do? So I'm gonna hit play on the retro resequencer, and then I'm gonna head up to the roof for a drink with the courier. I don't know how they're gonna drink anything. I don't think they ever take their gas mask off, but I guess we'll just sit up there and enjoy the view. The view of the lava flow, that is. So taking you out today is a band called Eerie with their song, World is on Fire. A little on the nose maybe, but it's a banger. I love this one. I'm the Lone Transmitter, and you're listening to Wasteland Free Radio, your only source for news at the end of the world.
Takes a lot of heart to speak up when there ain't nowhere to begin. If you find it in your heart to do so, friend, you'll never want for nothing again. Yeah, the world is on fire, the world is on fire, the world is on fire again. And you don't know where we ought to begin. Can we find a little time to make amends? Hell, what have we got to lose? We could find another planet for our kids, but we'd probably fuck that one up too. Yeah, the world is on fire, the world is on fire, the world is on fire again. And you don't know where we ought to begin. Should've done more, should've done more, shoulda, could've done more with my life. Should've done more, should've done more, shoulda, could've done more with my life. Only some kind of sadist would want to be remembered for this. There are monsters out here among us, and they're all wearing human skin. Yeah, the world is on fire, the world is on fire, the world is on fire again. And you don't know if we ought to begin. Should've done more, should've done more, shoulda, could've done more with my life. Should've done more, should've done more, shoulda, could've done more with my life. And got the radio on, and the bombs dropping right outside. It's the beat of my heart. It goes thump, 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 thump. Yeah, the world is on fire, the world is on fire, the world is on fire again. Yeah, the world is on fire, the world is on fire, the world is on fire again. Should've done more, should've done more, shoulda, could've done more with my life. Should've done more, should've done more, shoulda, could've done more with my life. I got the radio on, and the bombs dropping right outside. It's the beat of my heart. It goes thump, 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 thump.
Hello, and thank you everybody for listening to Wasteland Free Radio. If you enjoyed the show, please leave us a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to it, and tell a friend. That would be awesome. You can share our page, you can share links to your favorite episodes, whatever it is. I just really appreciate the help. Thank you so much. Today's Retro Resequencer was a band called Eerie with their song World is on Fire. You can find their music on their website on Spotify. You can find them on Instagram. I will have links in the show notes. Once again, a huge thank you goes out to 11D7 for providing our intro and outro music. That's 11D7. You can find them in our show notes as well. If you really enjoyed the show and you would like to support us directly, you can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/wastelandfreeradio. And of course, there is a link in the show notes. I feel like I've said that a lot this time. And remember, if you're out there hiking in the Radlands, to dress in layers, because it can become extremely hot or extremely cold in a flash.